following is a transcript between Matías De Stefano, referred to as me, and his higher self, referred to as I am, originally recorded on 9/7/2020 in the constellation of Virgo, the mental week, examining through the solar plexus. Me. In my heart is the center that pulses everything I give and what I receive, like a constant exchange of energy. You said that what I am capable of giving is my tool in which I'm useful and put myself at the service of others, when on the contrary, what I need to receive is the tool that I lack to complete my service, an aspect in which I feel useless, but others have it. If I open myself to recognize what I lack, I also open myself to the possibility of receiving what I need. This is something that, as we said yesterday, costs humans a lot. I am. Well, you have a belief that acknowledging that you are useless for some things makes you have less power. As we said, since the Industrial Revolution, the idea was planted that humans are tools for factories, and the schools, founded in the same historical period, were designed to create better, more prepared tools for those factories, not people. This spawned the idea that a tool or a person is either useful or useless, and if it's useless, it is discarded in the manufacturing chain. For this reason, two very old concepts emerged that became part of civilization: competence and empowerment. The competition led us to look for who had more capabilities, which, recognizing weakness or incompetence, was seen as a defeat or failure. This is how the concept of empowerment arises, which reminds us that I can do anything. Both are not bad concepts, but they are when only one aspect of it is seen. It is like having a huge fruit forest, but you can only see the apples, so you decide to cut down all the trees that are not apple trees to be able to see them better and to get more profit by planting only apples. Sooner or later, you'll starve because you cannot live on apples alone. This shows why both capitalism and communism don't work, because they both monopolize products or people. The heart is flexibility and adapts, it integrates, it is unlimited. But he only finds his unlimited capacity when he recognizes that the power he seeks does not lie in the individual, but in the individual's ability to recognize that power is shared among all. It is not competition that makes us more powerful, nor does equality make us fairer, but it is the expansion that makes us more balanced. Accepting our weakness, I recognize the power in the other, and opening ourselves to the other to ask for help, we recognize that the strength is in the collaboration it generates. Me. This is why it is only when I accept my weakness and strengths that I can truly live in harmony with the world around me. It's not when I consider myself almighty. I am. You are already all-powerful, but your personality is not. It is only a small aspect, a tool and quality of all that you're eternally capable of, which goes beyond time and space. Your power transcends your person and encompasses humanity at all times. Me, how do I understand this? I am. When you become aware that everything that exists is a constant projection, and that all humans are only aspects of the same organism that share the same roots, genetics, history, made up of the same elements, beyond the DNA of the races, of the capacities. You are all carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen, sulfur, iron, salts, etc. Then you will understand that each human being is a tree in a forest or a rock on a mountain who live in symbiosis. Thus, if one needs something, the other will have what is missing to compensate. But if you close yourself off from that possibility, believing yourself to be separate, you will never see what is being delivered to you. Being self-sufficient does not imply not depending on anyone. It implies living in balance with everyone. The problem is today, in the belief of separation, you live more dependent on others than any other species. Me. By not acknowledging our own abilities, trying to imitate that of others who have been successful, without opening ourselves sincerely to our shortcomings, we end up depending even more on the medium. We are, in a certain way, attached to each other more than united. I am. Unity is achieved with the strength of the individual to recognize that their power is useful to others and that the power of others is useful to our disabilities. Otherwise, we spend so much energy doing it alone and believing that we are separate that we fall into the frustration that we end up totally depending on objects, situations, or people. It is exactly the opposite result of what is sought. And there is no harmony. There is stagnation, as if the strings and chords, by not recognizing their vibration and how it complements the one next to it, tries to imitate another that resonates very well, getting entangled, stopping, sounding, but also preventing the others from sounding, creating knots that stop the harmony, stagnating the resonance and creating dependent bonds. Me. That's what we call attachment. Attachment then arises from having failed in the search for personal power and relegating all my strengths to an external agent. I can is based on the popularity of I know I can because I am learning, and I know I can't because I'm afraid they will think that I'm useless. And in the second option, failing, a fall into dependency. I am. We are all born with the potentialities of the cosmos inside, and we can all awaken qualities, abilities, gifts, and some will have it easier than others, that is. Others will have it more difficult. But we can all do it. You have the innate ability to achieve the impossible, and this process is called learning. Try and fail. Fundamentals to improve. The big mistake in the learning process is that of a student who considers that asking for help is a weakness, a failure, when in fact it is the key to learning. If you ask for help during the process, you will never fail. And perhaps, instead of depending on the one who knows in the long run, you will find the joy of recognizing that you can do it, because you are not afraid or ashamed to admit that you did not know how. Me. Now I have it even clearer. It is not only that in what I am useless there is no fix, but precisely recognizing that I am useless in time helps me to improve and become useful by receiving help. I am. Fundamental keys to development of the being. Me. And how do you deal with attachment? I am. All humans and many other beings are attached to things, situations, or people. The ties that are generated in those strings of resonance among all make us dependent on those things and individuals that have what we do not have. Attachment is the malfunction of giving and receiving. Having been closed to receiving and feeling lacking in the energy to deliver, I have no choice but to take that energy from an external source by force, such as a virus, insects or parasites that absorb the energy of the host to maintain internal functioning. This triggers addictions, whether to drugs, food, vices, desires, or circumstances, actions, emotions, people. Me. So everything I feel attached to are the things from which I get energy, even if it is spent very quickly due to my inability to generate a correct circuit of giving and receiving, of expressing and learning. So I repeat over and over again the same. I am. Attachment just means sticking to something, like a tick on a dog, holding on to what gives us what we need to live, but without giving anything in return. This lowers our vibration. It makes the individual dependent, stops him, makes him sick. Me. And detachment? Something that is talked about so much in our world of consciousness. I am. As its name indicates, it is the ability to let go and to free oneself from said dependency. But you have to know how to let go. It is a concept that is usually spoken very lightly, and it is forced, that is, when you have said to have let go or detach. The person is usually pressured internally as if it's entering a detoxification process. For those addicted to objects, we speak of abstinence. For those dependent on food, it is called fasting or diet. And for those emotionally dependent on situations or people, it is called quarantine. That is 40 days without having to do with said agents. Me, and does it work? I am, no, of course not. Me, because why? I am, you have to be honest. Who has started a diet to give up flour and it's worked? Under the same example, we must recognize the reversal principle. That is, if you stop eating flour for a month, probably by the 4th week, you'll eat flour every day. And if you have a problem with your partner and decide to distance yourself or separate, you'll surely re-enter a relationship in which the same thing happens to you. Do you know why? Me, I do not. I am, because you thought that the problem of your dependency was the flour or your partner. And it is not like that. It is your inability to generate a balanced circuit in the energy of your body. It is not having the courage to recognize your shortcomings, your disabilities, your need, your weaknesses. It is not going to the past and facing the moment when you began to see the flour or your partner as the solution to your problems. Me, I understand. It's the typical boomerang effect. No matter how much you throw it and let it go, it will come back with the same force. What fails is not what I see today, but the energy that links me to the subject. I must see my shortcomings and uselessness in order to know why I am dependent. I am, therefore, after passing through the heart, upon reaching the plexus, you will recognize that everything you accumulate in your belly are attachments, things that you are afraid to let go of, and that you do not know how to let go of. What holes are you trying to cover by filling them with these external things? Recognize your attachments, and you will know where the origins of your needs are. Me, I must make a list, then, of my attachments and detachments. I am, you must write down both to become aware of where the knots are in your giving and receiving, in the natural circuit of your own energetic machinery. But do not let go of the subjects that you are attached to. When you manage to identify them, changing your consciousness and attitudes toward them, they will simply dissolve, and one day they will disappear. Letting go is a trauma because it breaks and breaks ties. Think about this. If the strings of the guitar are the ones that, having lost its ability to sound by itself in tune with the others, decided to seek its power in another of the strings and became entangled, stopping the vibration of all, what will be the solution to untangle it and play the guitar again? Would it be to cut the string with scissors? Me, no, of course not, because I couldn't play the guitar anymore and nothing would sound. He would just have to adjust it and fine-tune it. I am. So, don't let go or cut ties to which you are attached, for eternally the inevitable everything is connected in the universe. To get into harmony, first recognize which strings are knotted and go to the origin of it and adjust it. They will naturally release from each other and they will begin to sound in harmony. Me, I can see it very clearly. Yes, all my life I have believed that I had to cut ties or let go of those unhealthy ties that I had to situations, things, and people. But the truth is that I didn't have to erase it from my life, but I had to find the balance because they are a part of me. And the only problem is that I could not see that the reason I got attached is because I was the one out of adjustment, unable to manage my own give and take. I am. And there you will understand what detachment is. Now you will be able to identify the things that you manage to detach yourself from, or the ones by which you bring awareness, understanding, clarity, and instead of cutting, you heal. Those are the situations where you can become friends with your exes or eat pizza at dinner with friends guilt-free. Me, attachment and detachment. I am. So, take your notebook and write the title, Links. and below 2 columns where you put the subtitles, attachments and detachments. Write in the first one with total sincerity those things, situations, or people to which you feel you are attached at this moment. And in the other column, those things that you recognize that you have managed to detach yourself from, that is, the things or people in which you have found balance and in which you have previously depended. Without judgment or preconceptions, simply what is and what you have in you. You must recognize there will be a time to balance it and work on it. Me, yes, I understand. So I'm about to acknowledge my attachments. I am detaching yourself in the beautiful and harmonic melody of the song that resonates in the beat of your heart.